What's happening? Hello. Why? apparently, I didn't realize I missed recording so much. Hello, welcome back. It's Sunday, so you already know what it is. 3:30. Welcome to Moment with MoeSghetti. I am your hostesses with the mostesses, your auntie, sister, cousin, best friend, always coming with the realness. Your spiritual and mental health guide, MoeSghetti herself. Hello, welcome back. Wait a minute. Tom, where the buttons at? I couldn't clap for myself. We're gonna clap for me anyways. Hello, welcome back to Moment with MoeSghetti. I've been gone for the last I was out the last 2 weeks. I had a lot of things going on. Mainly our church, the Central Church of Christ, celebrated our minister's 39th anniversary ministering with us at the Central Congregation. So I was out last week specifically because we were having our anniversary program. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to be here. And then the week before, we had an extended choir rehearsal because we had the United Chorus out of Chicago who were our special guests on program. But they it was a combined choir with the central choir and the united chorus, and so we needed to get an extra practice in to make sure that we had everything set for last weekend. So that took me out the last 2 weeks. So if you missed me, if you missed Moment with MoeSghetti, I genuinely had a lot of things going on. But also I had some personal challenges going on in my life too that kept me from um recording in the middle of the week a pre-recorded episode for you guys, and I'll get a little bit into that once we get into our subjects for today. Our subject today we'll be talking about self-care. I'll be talking about once we get into it, I'm going to call today's episode a Dear Diary episode, in which I just sit back and give y'all some unsolicited information about my personal life in hopes that it will help lead you and guide you along your journey and the different things that you might be finding difficulty in at this time. And so before we get into all of that, look, don't I sound so enthusiastic about talking about that? I really do and don't. I want to do it. I'm going to do it. But also, life has been really heavy for me lately, and I haven't had my like sparkle joy. So we'll talk about it, and then maybe I'll get some epiphanies, and maybe I'll get some of that sparkle joy back by the time we get to the end of this show. Honestly, just being back in the studio, being back on camera, being back, I don't know. Maybe this is my safe space. I like a mic. I like a spotlight. So maybe this is one of my happy spaces, but it's good to be back. And we'll get into all the heavy stuff in just a minute. So, we start out with our church announcements. I'm going to come up with my church announcement theme song. Insert it here. So before I get, hey, Mom. MoeSghetti is in the building, of course, as always. As I get into the church announcements, the first announcements I want to give a couple of birthday shout outs. Today is my best friend's birthday. Hey, Leather. I don't even know if she's watching. She may or may not be watching right now. I don't know. She be watching though. But that's my bestie. It's her birthday, and I just wanted to give her a birthday shout out. I also didn't realize that I had two other really close people to me whose birthdays was today. My Uncle Will, my godfather, happy birthday to him too, and my friend Janelle. And I know my Uncle Will be watching. I know you be watching, Uncle Will. I know you be watching. So I definitely wanted to make sure I didn't skip over your birthday. And Janelle, that's my homie from way back when we were having our first children together. She definitely helped me ride through some difficult choppy waters at that point in life. So these are some very, very special people who have been with me for a very, very long time. So I wanted to make sure that I wish all of them a happy birthday. And look, I ain't gonna be doing birthday shout outs every week. Maybe I will. I don't know. We do that at church. I probably won't. But if you want me to specially shout out your birthday when the time comes, I suppose inbox me, email me at MoeSghetti@gmail.com. And if I am able to do my due diligence, I wish you a happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Mm. Happy birthday to you. All right. The other church announcements that we have going on. So I already know that I said that I was out the last 2 weeks. I'm probably gonna be out again next week. The Central Gospel Chorus is going on the road. We will be making our way down to Louisville, Kentucky next weekend to celebrate the installation of Minister John, aka Pooh Malone, at the Midwest Church of Christ in Louisville, Kentucky. We're really excited about making our way down there and just help and them have a good time. It's a homecoming celebration, so it's going to be a great big gathering for them. And then they'll also be installing Pooh as their new preacher. So we're really excited and we're really encouraged to be invited down there. We're encouraged by the installation of their new minister, and we know that he's going to do a fantastic job. I know Pooh more so as a maestro, so I know him from visiting down with this the Southside Church of Christ in Alabama and participating in their homecoming and musical festivities. So it'll be really interesting to get to know the more ministerial side of Pastor Malone. So we're really excited about heading on down there. It's going to be a good old time. So we'll be hitting the road for that, and it'll be a good time. Like I said, already like 3 times. So congratulations to you, Pooh, and we'll be seeing you too soon. Um. Ooh. Now this announcement's gonna bring a little bit of cheer to me. I'm really excited about this announcement. This one's all about me. This one's all about me. On December 16th at Muse 33 Performing and Visual Arts Gallery, I, MoeSghetti herself, will be hosting the Christmas Spectacular Variety Show. I need my buttons, yo. Yes. I will be hosting. I call it a Christmas Spectacular Variety Show. We're gonna have a really good time. We're gonna have a holly jolly festivities. We're gonna have some singing. We're gonna have some dancing. We're gonna have some poetry. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a really good time, and it's going to put you in the Christmas spirit. And I'm really excited about it. I have some friends of mine from near and far who are excited about participating, and we're getting all the music and all of we're getting everything together to make sure that it is a very good time. I feel like it's been a couple of years since I have been really in the Christmas spirit. And if you know me, I love holidays. I love holidays. I love birthdays. I love every opportunity to kind of like celebrate and decorate and dress up. I just like a reason to have a good time. And so for a while, I've been wanting to put out a Christmas album because I absolutely love Christmas. I do. I love the sparkle. I love the glitz. I love the joy. I love the corniness. I love the corniness. There be cookies. Like, I love it. So though I am not doing my Christmas album this year, I am going to get together a collection of people. I have gotten together a collection of people who are just willing and ready to give some entertainment and some Christmas cheer. So if you are available December 16th, that evening about 6 p.m., block off your calendars, get ready. We're going to have a jolly good time, and I'm really excited about that. Please come, because I'll be sad if you don't. Okay. Mom said, Mom, like, we not having this conversation right here on the live about whether or not I'm going to be able to make it to Georgia for the holidays. Okay. I don't really want to start stressing and melting down on camera. I love you. Ada. I'm in a different room today. But we're still live here at the Tone Deaf studio. We're still live in the Sherman Phoenix. You already know what it is. With the TDR network. I'm part of the crew. I'm part of the crew. We in the same spot. So I also shouts out to Tone and TDR for making this space a happy home. All right. Let's get to it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to talk about it, but we gonna talk about it anyways. So I guess I have decided somewhat to call all of our episodes where I'm going to just sit here and talk to y'all about my business. I'm going to call it Dear Diary. And today's Dear Diary is going to be about self care. And to be honest, I already put a little chunk of my business out there for you guys to read, anyways. And I was a little bit, um, I want to say that I was surprised by the response, but I'm not. The reason why I was surprised by the response is that this isn't the so for those of you who haven't seen the post, just probably if you're watching this podcast, you've probably seen the post. But for those of you who haven't seen the post or who may not be watching this live, I put up a post a few days ago talking about how I have not been the greatest, how I've not necessarily been taking care of myself, but I do know how to kind of get myself out of this rut in a way that in previous versions of myself, previous time periods of my life, I haven't known how to really get myself out of this type of state of being. I haven't been feeling well and I haven't been treating myself well as a response to not feeling well in the first place. Um, so I put up a post about it, and the response underneath the post was more than I thought it would be. And then the responses that I've gotten in my inbox was more than I thought it would be. Because, like I said, this wasn't the first time that I've put up a post akin to this. This is the first time I really had people like commenting on the post, like, hey, come out with me tonight. I've had people commenting on the post, like, hey, come see me later this week. I had people call me, I've had people text me, I've had people inbox me. It was a little overwhelming because I wasn't in necessarily a very talkative and I'm still not in a very talkative space. And when I say talkative, I mean like interaction. Like I'm gonna probably sit here and talk until we're done. And I'll go to work and of course I'll talk to those people. But as far as any human interaction that's not necessary, I just really didn't have the strength. So if you're watching this and I didn't respond to your calls or your texts, um don't take it personally. My mental health was in the way of me being able to fully connect with people. It just, when I get into that space, calling back, texting back is a chore. It's a chore. The idea of maintaining a conversation that goes both ways is a lot. And I'd rather not, which is part of the problem. But I do appreciate each and every person who responded to the post, both on the post and on the post publicly, and those who have responded privately. I appreciate each and every one of you. I saw you, and when I feel up to connecting more, then maybe I will. But when I'm in that type of space, I guess I'll get to this now. When I'm in that type of space, it's better that I connect with people face to face. I don't really like being on technology, being on social media, being on the phone. It becomes a lot, but just being in the presence of people, is much more comforting than just like talking to somebody on the phone. So I don't know. I guess if you're looking for a hack how to get me out of my dark cloud whenever I fall into it, that's one. see me in person or invite me in person versus a call or a text. It's just more comforting. There's less pressure. If I'm sitting around you in public in person, we can talk. Oh, there's a certain element of not having to entertain each other. That's not the same as if you're on the phone. You kind of feel like you should continue to have conversation. I don't know if any of that is making any sense to anybody outside of my own head, but perhaps I know it's making sense to somebody who's been in a predicament where they just don't really feel like connecting with people via phone. And then also, given what I do for a living, like sometimes I just don't want to talk, period, about anything um other than like the sky when I'm done with my day, especially when I'm not really feeling like I have the most energy or I have the most um enthusiasm. And I don't know if that comes from being the like strong friend or the I don't know. Sometimes I'm the entertainment. Sometimes I'm the advice giver. I don't know if that comes from being the healer in the group where I feel like I should have something to give. And if I don't have anything to give, I don't really want to interact. Not really sure. Um, but I'm still peeling through everything. I'm still peeling through myself and my own mental health and my own needs so that I can, for the most part, avoid falling into major ruts, but definitely so that I can avoid staying there for very long and so that I know how to pull myself out when I get there. And honestly, like I feel like I am on an upward trajectory because I know some of the things about how I fell into the emotional pit that I was in. And I also know some of the ways and I know how I fell in, which means I got to stop or change the way that I was doing things in order to get out. And fortunately, some of the things that I did to fall in are not necessarily are habits that I would say were more prevalent in previous versions of me. There's another status that I put up that said I feel like I'm a different version or I've evolved into a different state of myself. I just don't know how to. It's like it feels like getting a new video game and not knowing how to work the controllers. I can tell that some of the things that I've been doing for my self care or to cope, or the self, I don't know, I can't call it care, but some of the things that I've been doing to cope, whether it be adaptive or maladaptive, are more in alignment to older versions of myself that I've evolved out of. I picked back up some of those habits, but they don't fit who I am and what I'm doing now. Um, and that is new. That alone is new. Doing things that used to that used to bring comfort and realizing that they don't bring comfort anymore, or really understanding that they never brought true comfort. So they're extra ineffective now that I've already put them down. It's interesting to be in a more evolved state of myself, and to peel it all apart. Um, so yeah, let me go to the comments for a second. Mom said we just talked about any and everything, so it doesn't feel as hard for me. Well, like for us to interact when you're not feeling like interacting. And honestly, yeah, mom. Well, one of the reasons why, oh, well, I already wanted to talk about something specific with you, but one of the reasons why I answered my mom's phone call is because I knew I needed to get out of isolation, and I knew she was gonna keep calling. And I knew that there was an opportunity to just talk about whatever what any and everything on the phone versus having to talk about how are you feeling, how are you doing, um because that can be overwhelming. And in the vein of not taking care of myself, my self mismanagement, my self uncare, um people ask me why. I got that question a lot. I was like, I haven't been taking very good care of myself. People say, why? So I guess I'll start there. Why? Why haven't I been taking good care of myself? I don't know. I don't know. Why haven't I been taking good care of myself? Number one, it's about that time of the year where seasonal depression just sets in for me, anyways. The weather is getting colder. The number of daylight hours that we get are growing shorter. um, I hadn't accomplished some of the things that I wanted to accomplish by the end of the summer, but I can't say that I'd been putting the most effort into it either. And so those things already kind of put me in a grumpy disposition. Um, it felt like it set on a little bit earlier this year than normal, especially when the weather has still been kind of nice. But as I talk to other people in my life, they've been feeling the same way too, that the seasonal depression just kind of set in a little bit earlier. And so when that happened, that automatically makes me want to kind of isolate. That makes me want to just kind of go into my space and not be bothered, because I know that when I am in a state of depression, I am irritable. So me being irritable is twofold. Number one, I'm irritable, so the things that you are doing are irritating me, even if they don't normally irritate me. Stuff irritates me. And then when things irritate me, I know that my behavior as a response is not the most pleasant to be around. And I don't always want to subject other people to my poor attitude. And so I will go isolate in my house, in my room, in my space. So number one, you can't get on my nerves. And number two, I'm not getting on your nerves with my behavior. And then you asking me what's wrong, and now I'm even more irritable. Um, so I know that about myself. Um, so yeah, seasonal depression has kicked in. And then on top of that, um if you watched my growing up church part 2 episode, you know that we lost a very prominent member of my congregation, my church, which is like one of my aunties. And so coping with that loss has affected me, and it's having ripple effects that I don't think I anticipated. And I don't know, I'm still navigating the grief of that. And so I don't know where the seasonal depression, I don't know where a resurgence of depression starts and ends, and where the grief picks up. But I know that those are at least two reasons why I haven't um had the most energy, how why I haven't been in the best mood, and why I haven't felt like taking care of myself. Um None of this is excuses. It's an explanation. And because really I'm always peeling it apart. If I'm not taking care of myself, I'm peeling apart why I'm not taking care of myself, how I'm not taking care of myself, and how to make it easier to take care of myself, so that I can, if I do fall off of anything that I'm doing good for myself, that I can fall back into it just as easily as I've fallen out of it. So there are a couple of ways that I kind of wanted to break down how I haven't been taking the best care of myself, how it has affected me physically, mentally, and spiritually, and I guess what I'm doing about it. In the comments, mom said I took the avoidance route, which doesn't work well either. And honestly, when I was describing what I had going on and how I was feeling, there a friend of mine said to me, she was like, "So it sounds like you've been avoiding. What you avoiding?" And I'm like, "Mm, I'm avoiding the work." Because to be honest, everything that makes me feel good and keeps me feeling good on a regular basis requires more work and more effort than the things that throw me out of whack. Ugh. That's the answer. Ugh! The things that keep me functioning in order take more effort than the things that throw me out of whack. That's why it's hard. But that's also another one of the reasons why I try to find ways to make it easier for me to fall back in alignment with the way that I'm supposed to be, or the way that I can't even say supposed to be, because when I say supposed to be, it sounds like somebody else put these rules on top of me. The way that I am most functional, because it's not about the way the rules or the stipulations that other people have put on top of me. It is about what I have found to be most productive for my own self through freaking trial and error, through experience, through some of it through science, some of it through inspiration of the Holy Spirit, but all of it through life. So it's not about what I'm supposed to be doing, it's what I found most effective. And it just so happens that some of the things that are most effective for me are the things that require much more work than other ways of being. So I feel like I'm having a rambly day, but y'all just gonna have to deal with it. My hair looks good though. I look good though. You know, I'm starting to feel better. I'm like, I look good though. Anyway, so I just had three people. I just had a couple more people on the live who just dropped off when I just started talking about how I look good. Sorry, y'all. It's some substance over here. I promise. Stick around. But anywho, so um one of the ways that I haven't been taking very good care, or one of the changes, one of the ways that I haven't been mindful of how of my self care, is through what I've been eating and how I've been eating. Mom says when I start down the slippery slope, things start falling off left and right. Exactly. Ooh, and you'll see that through everything that I have to say. So my diet is one of the things that has changed and is continuously evolving over time. Some time ago I got rid of a lot of dairy out of my diet. I still be liking cheese though. Oh, cheese. Oh, I'm from Wisconsin. No, I can't help it. But but most notably back in May, I pretty much stopped eating meat. And the reason why I stopped eating meat actually goes back even further. It goes back to January of this year and last year, but more so January of this year, 2023. I participated in a fast with my choir, Anthony McGahee and Praise Motivated. Shout out to y'all. And one of the challenges for our fast is that we are meat free for a week. And so I found that during meat free week, my spiritual connection was significantly stronger. Like the messages and the downloads that I was getting from God, from the heavens, from the Holy Spirit, were just so much sharper and so much more keen. Um, and being that with the work that I do, working with and helping people, having keen insight to the spiritual world is very beneficial. Being able to hear in the spirit, being able to discern in the spirit has been the clarity that I get when I don't eat meat has just been something that was profound. And so I had a bout of spiritual warfare that I was going through back in May. And I felt like um in order for me to be most effective in that time period where I was doing a lot of praying and I was doing a lot of um just existing in the spiritual realm. I felt like eating meat or returning to that state that I was in when I was fasting, when I didn't consume meat, was the best thing for me. And it was almost as if my spirit no longer desired to consume meat in general. And and so for me it wasn't just one way communication, it felt like a two-way, like there was clarity both coming and going in the spiritual world when I wouldn't eat meat. Um and so I stopped back in May. Once I got done really in that battle I felt like I was in, but that battle that I was in, um I just continued to live a vegetarian lifestyle. I no longer really desired meat in my diet. It would smell good, but the idea of actually eating it just was not appealing to me. Well, and it did things for me physically. Like I lost a lot of weight. Like in that time period, I've been trying to lose weight, but by not eating meat, I also wasn't having fast food. especially not as often because you get hungry, you go grab a burger from McDonald's or something, and you keep on pushing. Well, that's not really an option when you're not eating meat. There's a whole lot of French fries. French fries do something different to the waistline than McDoubles. And so, it altered the way that I was eating as a whole, which had, physical benefits, which had emotional benefits, because the better I looked, the better I felt about myself. I'm like, hey, y'all should have seen me out here this summer in my sundresses. But anywho, so but the most important part of that was the connection, the openness. And I don't know, I just felt lighter, I felt better, I felt healthier. Um especially in the beginning. And so around August, I started eating a little bit of seafood. It really was triggered by my trip to New Orleans because I was like, I'm not going to New Orleans and not eating any meat. But even when I came back, and I really only ate seafood on that trip, and even when I came back, I still really wasn't eating too much meat. But I found myself um, not having very much energy, and um, and having a strong craving for like a burger or some beef, like a really really strong craving for meat. And so I slowly but surely like started to eat meat a little bit more. And I think that because I need more development in my vegetarian diet, I might have been a little malnourished, because I was feeling better when I ate meat. Now, here's the problem: it's not even about yes or no with this thing, it's about finding balance in the way that I cared for myself. So, over here, even though I was getting great communication and spiritual discernment by not consuming animals, uh I also wasn't getting the spirit was open, but the flesh was becoming weak. You have to attend to both. But when I began to eat meat, at first my body was very happy about it. And then as I continued to do it through the depression, through and not having a lot of energy and not making the best choices in some of the different spaces I was in, and then just grieving and eating fried chicken because I felt like it and I wanted it to make me feel good, it started to hurt. The meat, I would eat it and it would just like sit like on my like in my stomach, just like in one spot, like it felt like it was not digesting, which made me feel f- full when I wasn't full. It made me feel gross. It gave me digestion issues. It just really felt like I was not even, it just felt like my body was rejecting it by not wanting to digest it in the first place. uh and then on top of that, like I could feel it in my joints, like my hip, my knees, my ankles, everything, that I noticed that some stuff stopped popping and cracking, and everything started popping and cracking again. Um, so just physically, I began to feel more uncomfortable, which played into my mental health and had me feeling uh like I was going to put back on all the weight that I lost, or like I was on the way to putting back on the weight that I lost. Clothes starting to fit a little bit tighter or not as smooth as they were like a month or two ago. Like when you start eating different and you feel like you're packing back on pounds, you were really happy about having lost them and having this good momentum. Like that could affect the way that you feel about yourself. And so in the spiritual realm, I wasn't feeling as connected. Um, I can't even say that in the spiritual realm I wasn't feeling as connected, because I know that the other things that I was doing was keeping me from doing my prayer and my meditations and things like that as I should. But in my body I was feeling uncomfortable, in in my emotions I was feeling unhappy, because I knew that I was moving in the wrong direction with how I'm taking care of myself. Mom said, "Were you doing the meat and the junk?" Yes, mom. You'll see. Look, we're gonna keep talking. So my diet was just out of whack. Yes, eating meat and junk food. Um, and uh, that is just not a way. That is a way that I was coping with life. Eating and overeating was a way that I was coping with life. Um, when which got me to be a whole lot heavier than I am now. When I was suffering severely with depression, when those were the only things that made me feel good. Well, not only, but some of the things that make me feel good and help me to be distracted. And in this season of my life, it's just not working how it used to. Yeah, that chocolate cake tastes good, but there was nothing. It didn't. It didn't fill me in a way that made me feel satiated. It filled me in a way that made me feel out of line. And so, how do I get back? Well, I go back into my vegetarian diet. When I tell y'all I have been a peanut butter and jelly crazy person the last couple of days, just trying to make sure that I get back on my vegetarian diet, but that I'm also getting enough protein in my diet, but I'm also allowing myself to eat something that is easy and accessible. Like, I've been peanut butter and jelly in it down for the last couple of days. I feel good about it. I also took my iron pills. Because my iron was probably low. I'm in that regard, and that's a bit of a slower walk, because I'm still learning things about how to have a well-rounded diet while not eating meat. But we fixing that one. We fixing that one. Another area in which I was not taking care of myself was my hygiene. First of all, my room looked like, girl, really, really. I'm getting it together though. I just cleaned off my vanity last night and it's pretty. But my hygiene, like my physical hygiene, and I know it was the depression that was keeping me from showering. I know it was the depression that was keeping me from showering, because when you don't have no energy for stuff, you just want to go lay down. And then when you just go lay down, they say, you sleep. And then when you sleep, you wake up in the morning and you go about your day. Um, but for me, well, first of all, physically, you're not taking care of yourself, you look crazy, you smell crazy. When you're not taking care of yourself in that regard, um for me, as far as the mental and emotional aspect of it goes, showering is part of my routine. When I'm not doing my routine, other parts of my routine don't come together. And so one of the things I do in my routine, and I always say, when you're setting and establishing routines and systems, try to see how things fit into today. So instead of saying I'm gonna put it off until tomorrow. And so showering at the end of the day and using that as a marker for how I continue to consume social media and how I continue to kind of wind down my sensory input for the rest of the day is really important. For me, my best days start off when the night before I've taken a shower, and then after that, it's like no social media or no phone, or limited social media, limited phone, or maybe I'm just only watching TV, or maybe a comedy special, just really, or ideally just really music or something like that to wind me down between shower time and bedtime. That's how I start my day off the best the next day, when I bathe, wind down, go to sleep, and get up the next day. I usually fall asleep quicker and easier, and I usually stay asleep throughout the night, which leads to me having a nice fresh day the next morning, which sets me up for being able to wake up at whatever time I want to get up, get my meditations in for the morning. Like, it really is just a good setup. And so by skipping that piece of my routine, it threw everything off. Now I'm not starting the next day as clear and refreshed. I haven't flushed out that sensory input from the day before. I'm scrolling until God knows what hour, and getting up at whatever time feels better, whichever time I can, which means I'm not up at 5 or 6 in the morning, which means I'm not going to the gym that early in the morning, which means I'm not doing my reading or my meditating or anything else that's on the docket for the morning. All because I ain't take a shower last night. Yes, yes, all because the whole system of the routine was compromised. And then you just don't feel good because now you're not like fresh. I can't get hugs from people. I'm not fresh. Like, my hair a little swanky because I'm not fresh. Like, so all of that. Now on the spiritual side, because I have to be very careful as well. Um, One of the things that I do when I shower at night is I literally shower off any excess energy, any extra spirit, any excess negativity, any excess anything that people have that I have interacted with throughout the day. I can't even say that people have attached to me because I interact with so many different kinds of people with so many different kinds of issues throughout the day. If you don't know, in my personal life, I'm a therapist. And so the things that I have to talk about with people can be intense. Um, I'm around a lot of spiritual people a lot. So the spiritual energy that they have can be intense. And sometimes that stuff wants to attach to me, or sometimes I've given out an excess of spiritual energy and maybe more than what I should have. And so when I shower at night, it's not just to wash the dirt off of my body, it is to recalibrate my entire spiritual equilibrium. It is for me to kind of wash away any excess, be it positive or negative energy, because even if somebody else's positivity, if it is not genuinely mine, can overrun the system. And maybe I can use it for the day, but it's not for me to hang on to for forever. And so I use it as an opportunity to really recalibrate myself, to call back any spiritual energy that I have extended out to others, that on purpose or intentionally or unintentionally. I call all that back. I wash off the negative energy. I recalibrate myself for the day, and I get myself to a space of centeredness while I shower. You don't do that, my whole spiritual equilibrium is off base. I'm carrying on extra energy, extra baggage, extra spiritual debris from any and every anywhere I've gone and anybody I've interacted with. And for somebody like me who spends a lot of time in the spirit, who spends a lot of time helping people, that is not healthy for me. That's where some of the depression even comes from. I'm carrying somebody else's emotional and spiritual baggage. And if I don't give myself a regular opportunity to release that, it becomes part of me in my life, in my day. And I'm walking around not knowing what's wrong with me and why I'm agitated. It's because I haven't released somebody else's baggage. And so it's more than just and I can immediately, you can't hear me. You can't hear me. Make sure you turn it up. I see that there are two people on my live. The other person can let me know if you can hear me or not. Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up when you can. Tone, can you hear me? You couldn't before? No, my mom said that she couldn't hear me. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Michelle. Hi. No, there's somebody else in here said that they can now. They can now. Thank you. I don't know where I was when you guys couldn't hear me. Um, but hi, Michelle. Michelle is my Michelle's my other mom. Michelle is my sorority mom. So it's always a pleasure when I see her come through here. I always got a mama or a sister in some sort of arena in which I exist. I'm well loved. And that's why I said that I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised that people reached out to me because of my status, because I sometimes I act a lot like a loner. This is fix it. Somebody else's podcast is at the bottom of my podcast. But I like I was saying, I was like, uh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm very well loved. I walk my life a lot like a loner because I don't mind being by myself. I like moving by myself, but I have lot of people who love me, who cover me, who are around me. Can you put mine back up? Why am I being demanding today? Because make it right. Because that's one of my problems is me not being demanding enough. Absolutely, absolutely gonna start being demanding with you. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. I'm just trying to use the wonderful artwork that you put together. Did that sound good? Did that sound good? Did that sound honest and genuine? No? Okay. Last last commandment. Could you put the could you make sure my comments are visible because I can't see them? Thank you. It Yeah, mom said, "What is he doing today?" He said it's not him. He's been a producer today. Is what he's doing. He's got multiple shows running. I am not the only person. I am not the center of his universe. I'm the center of mine, though. So we're gonna make sure this gets right. Right, right. Y'all can hear me. Y'all can see me. Everything all good and calibrated. Cool. The system was having a technology be technology in it. And when I'm not gonna go on a tangent about AI. I'm not. 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 I. So the last piece of my self care, I don't want to talk about it, but it's so relevant. I gotta tell on myself. Because if you don't tell on yourself, you don't grow, right? If you don't tell on yourself, you don't grow, right? So, because when you start telling on yourself, you have to be accountable. It got dark in here. I don't like that. Oh, my light went off. Look, let me tell y'all, I started talking about all this spiritual stuff and everything in here done started going haywire. Tone, the light went off. Okay, then we're gonna do this in the dark. Look, mom said quit whining and talk. Okay. I've been I've been smoking too much weed. Okay. So that's the way the final piece I wanted to talk about how I'm not been taking very good care of myself. And so um I don't know if I talked to y'all about it. I don't think I talked to y'all about it, but I did a solid 30-day no weed fast for cuz the Holy Spirit told me to. Mom said she knew anyways. She probably did. Um, and that is a true. My relationship with that is a tricky one because it's more about overindulgence than it is about the connection with it in the first place. Um, for me, um, physically, I mean, it has been a contributor to some of the other things. So physically, obviously, like it makes me slower, it makes me more sluggish, it makes me sleep, but sometimes it makes me sleep better. But it makes me more sluggish, it makes me slower, which makes it harder for me to get up in the morning and get straight to the things that I want to do. Um And so when you're not getting up and you're not going to the gym and you're not like just moving about your morning the way that you want to, it can really affect the way that you feel physically. And then physically it's got me eating like lazy and hungry. Yes, it'll make me lazy and hungry. And so that's where all the eating, the excess of everything else is coming into play. But also from a mental standpoint, when I smoke, it lowers my inhibitions. And so anything that I have been working on making my way through via willpower, it kind of gets put to the side. So I'm much more likely to go and eat me a burger if I've been smoking, because, everything that I build up to tell me, no, don't do that, is thrown out the window. Now, on the other hand, um, I don't mind smoking when I'm doing like art and things like that, because it makes me not overthink it. I can just paint, I can just write, I can just craft, I can just go because I'm not overthinking. I'm just allowing the things to be. Um, which is why I'm like, it's more about a balance and overindulgence thing than it is anything. Because if I'm smoking all day and I'm not holding fast to the structures that I've put, then a lot of my self-care goes out the window. And all I want to do is lay down, watch TV, and eat, which means that I'm also not wanting to be social with my friends or go out. I'm not wanting to go the extra mile to do certain stuff. My time is improperly preoccupied. Um, I just don't want to do. I don't have the energy to do. I don't have the stamina to do. I don't have the initiative to do as much as I'm capable of doing when I'm just sitting around sober with a laundry list of things to do. Everything is harder to it's harder for me to access my willpower. It is harder for me to access my willpower when I'm in that state. So it's harder to get me to go and do things that I should be doing, and it's also harder for me to stop things that I should not be doing. I really relinquish my power, and I'm more likely to just go with the flow of whatever my desires are. And if those desires are not in alignment with what my higher self, my wise mind wants to do, then I'm out of whack in general. uh Spiritually, it's an interesting as well, because when I smoke, I have actually a little bit too much access to the spiritual world. It's a little bit like, um, you like that statement, it's harder to access your willpower, because that honestly, when I've been thinking about it, it really is what one of the things that it boiled down to. Because I know, like, I go through different stages where I quit all the time. Like, anybody who's ever smoked with me be like, "Are you smoking today?" Because she used to say quitting. I'd be like, "Cause sometimes I just do just because I want to make sure that I can." Um, but um, the way that I interact spiritually is a little bit different, because it actually opens me wide open to the spiritual world. And I get to kind of like with it having with me not having control of my willpower, I also don't have as much control over my spiritual gifts. Um, and so people who danger that I try to keep away from me, I can't keep away from me as easy. People that I'm trying to draw into me, I can't draw into as easy. Messages that I'm trying to get from the Holy Spirit or my spirit guides, I can't decipher as clearly, because there's just too much going on. I'm outside of my body. Um, and when I'm outside of my body, I'm too much in my head, I'm too much in the spirit. And I can't make tangible connections as clearly, as distinctly as I would like to. or as would be beneficial for me. And so in some moments, it can work. It's cool. Um, I can read everybody in the room and their intentions. Um, but also I don't have as much regulation. I can't turn it off. I can't stop people who see my spiritual light from coming to me. Um, I don't have as much control. So it's cool when I'm in the house by myself and I'm just, because I've had some look. When I say the inhibitions are lowered, like I art better, I sing better, I'm looser, I'm not as self conscious until I overindulge and I'm hyper self conscious because I'll be like, oh my gosh, can everybody tell that I'm high? Um, but it impacts my ability to be in control. Oh, that's what I was saying. When I was dissecting it in other elements of my life, like I realized that, sometimes it, don't tell Tone I'm unscrewing the mic. Sometimes it's been about a stimulation thing. Like I needed something to do with my hands. And so it's something to do with your hands. And I've learned how to conquer that. Um, I've learned how to put things in my hands. I've learned how to substitute things with my mouth in order to get over that part of it. Um, but the not being able to have full control of myself, I don't think is a thing that I either will nor do I desire to have um, control over. I feel like at this point, it's more about just relinquishing the item itself. If I truly want to have control, I have to be inside of my body. If I want to have control over my body, I have to be inside of my body. If I want to be able to do the things through my vessel that are necessary for my vessel to do, I have to exist in it. Which means smoking all the time ain't gonna do that. If I want to have genuine energy in my body, and also that has also contributed to some of the aches and pains that I've had through my body too. I don't want to move, so I'm not getting water, so I'm dehydrated. The smoke makes you even more dehydrated. It affects my lungs and my singing. It affects my ability to go to the gym. It affects my movement, and it affects how I feel in general. And then I just want to lay there and eat chips and isolate some more. And so it's all that part where it can go from, something fun where I'm don't feel like being in my body, to me avoiding being in my body. Because when I get back in my body, it sometimes becomes uncomfortable. Sometimes you start feeling feelings you hadn't felt when you were outside of your body. That is another challenge that I have kind of overcome in regards to that. I used to avoid going back into my body because I didn't want to feel the feelings that were there. Well, now I know they're going to be there. And I don't know if I've talked to you guys about it, but I've been working on getting more comfortable with being uncomfortable. And so that part of it isn't as much of a challenge as it used to be. And so I continue to ask myself, like, why are you eating meat? Why are you not bathing or doing your hygiene? Why are you smoking? Well, you know that these three things, when they're out of whack or when they're in excess, take you back into an old version of yourself that you're not even comfortable being no more. And honestly, the answer is just to get myself back online. You know, my body needed a burger one of them days that I ate one. You know how I know? Because it didn't hurt to eat it. And my body digested it and I felt better. Every once in a while, look, mind your own business. I skip showers. It happens. But that shouldn't be a regular thing. That shouldn't be a regular thing, especially when I know that there's so much spiritual stuff connected to that action. And then smoking, it's all fun and games when you're doing an art project or you're hanging out with a group of friends. But when you're not able to physically control your body because of overindulgence, when you don't have access to your willpower because you've given it away, because something is interfering, well, now we're out of order and we're not engaging in self care. So for me, those have been three things, and honestly, like a lot of the other things that I do and don't do, um, concerning my self care can really be attached to those things. When those things are in order, a lot of other things fall in order. When my hygiene is right, when my eating is right, when I'm accessing my willpower, um, I can do so many other things with my day, with my routine. I can stay up later, or I can get up earlier. I can take care of a lot of business. Um, and when these things fall offline, I'm not as I don't have as much authority over my own life as what is actually granted to me. Well, mom say, I love that you're talking about your ups and downs. It makes you more relatable. You can teach us things and show from personal experience, especially when addiction runs heavy in your family. And that's why I said today was going to be one of them Dear Diary episodes, because I don't know if I didn't really have much to talk about. And this was the only thing that was on my heart. And I feel like, I got this from somebody else though, but if your healer should be healing. If your healer is not doing their own healing work, then that doesn't mean that they're not gifted, but they're limiting their capacity for growth and yours. It is a lot easier to walk somebody else through circumstances that you have been through yourself. It is a lot easier to tell somebody to keep pushing um, when you have walked that path yourself. A lot of the things, most of the things that I bring as lessons of how we should live life or good things to do are born out of my own personal experience of trying these things, and or seeing other people who are in my life or close to me having success by going through these different measures. It's rare that I bring y'all something that I haven't tested or seen effective in my own life. And if I do, it's usually in the vein of, hey, this is the book I'm reading and this is what I learned from it. And even then, when it's, hey, this is the book I'm reading and this is what I'm learning from it, there's something about those elements that have resonated really deeply with me, which is why I'm even bringing it to you, because I feel like it can be effective. I got a master's in clinical psychology. I got books up the wazoo. I got theories and all types of things. I got more theories in my head that I probably done forgot. um, but at the end of the day, like you said, mom, authenticity over your own authority over your own life. I did say that. But authenticity is what I go for. I don't want to be no guide or no guru or no, I don't even want to be your auntie, sister, cousin, best friend if I can't actually come with the realness. I struggle too, but I also help and heal people. And I know for a fact that helping and healing people is one of my missions and is one of my assignments here on earth. I know that. I know that. I know that. Because every time I try to step away from helping or healing people, God shows me that He has given me a gift to help and heal people. People come around me and they open wide up about their business when I haven't even asked, because he gave me a gift to be able to heal people. He gave me a disposition to be able to hear people and to feel people and to connect with people. And I'm proud of that. It comes easily and naturally to me. People ask me all the time, they be like, you work with foster kids? You be in therapy? Like, man, it takes a special kind of person to be able to do that. It does take a special kind of person to be able to do that. But I don't think that being that special kind of a person is a big deal, because it's a gift, because it is part of my natural makeup, my general this is part of my essence and my reason for being here. Is reason why I'm on this podcast. That's why I was sitting here and I know it. Now, how that pans out, it really depends on is where I exist in life. Because I'm going to have those elements of myself no matter where I go. Because I've had those elements of myself no matter where I've been. It'll be the most unlikely places in which people open up about their own lives and get a piece of healing from me. But that means that if I expect to be able to help people and heal people, and especially when I'm in session and I'm calling people to the carpet about their behaviors and their routines and their systems and their attitudes and why they do things and why they don't do things, I have to be able to look at myself in the mirror and ask myself those same questions. Otherwise, I'm a hypocrite. I don't believe in being a hypocrite. I know hypocrisy exists. I don't want to be one. I don't believe in trying to march people through things that I don't even know if it's possible. I feel like a liar. I feel like a fraud. And so I do my own work. I expose my own self because it's real. It's real. And for whatever reason, y'all real, I don't know what it is about my vulnerability that y'all just really got a thing for. I put that status up and everybody came running like, what? I start posting pictures that I thought I'd never share with nobody. Y'all be like, ooh, nice. I don't know what it is about my discomfort that makes everybody else come look. But hey, if I'm supposed to be in a bold and out loud and unashamed and unafraid era of my life, then let's go. I want to boldly say let's go, but I'm keeping it real. I'm scared. I'm scared because I don't know what this is going to be or what this is going to bring about. But you know what? My whole life is an elevation. Tone said to me before I started today that my whole podcast is an ascension, it's an elevation, it's a transformation. And I feel like I'm gonna look back on this podcast and be like, bro, like you have really changed and transformed to become a total different person while you were recording that. Because honestly, I looked at videos from myself from last year. If you see, I've been posting some Moment with MoeSghetti throwbacks. Look, my locks wasn't even locked. I was in my living room or my bedroom, looking crazy or sounding looking fine, looking perfectly fine, and sounding perfectly sane. But I already know that I've looked at old TikToks of myself when I was trying too hard to be an influencer for like 6 weeks, and I was like, I can't even try that hard. That's not authentic to me, and I'll never be able to keep up that pace. I keep it real because that's all I can do. And that's the only way that y'all gonna authentically connect with me is if y'all feel like I'm authentically pouring out. I don't want y'all to connect with a version of myself that's not real. I don't want y'all to connect with healing that I haven't certified. I don't want y'all to connect with things that I don't know if they're possible. Because then that means we all walking blind. And y'all can walk blind behind somebody else. But we walk with we walk by faith, not by sight over here, but that don't mean we walk blind. You know, we we might not always know everything that we getting into. But at least when I don't know what I'm getting into, we gonna do that honestly together. Because I'm in the middle of an adventure that I don't know where it's going exactly, but I do know that when God, when my spirit team, when the Holy Spirit puts a step directly in front of me, I'm going to do my best to take it. I'm going to do my best to take it because whatever the mission is for my life, um, I don't want to be the one to thwart it. I don't want to be the one that mishandles it, all because of some meat, a shower, and a sack of weed. That's gonna be your downfall. That's wild. So I'm going to do my due diligence to take much better care of myself. Like I said at the top of the show, that is not why I have missed episodes. I missed episodes because I was legitimately busy. But had I been taking better care of myself, maybe I would have been able to get into the studio and do pre-recorded makeup sessions. But I didn't have it in me, and I'm not gonna beat myself up about it. I'm halfway apologizing to y'all because y'all deserve an episode every week, so long as I can give it. But at the same time, I'm going to release myself of the pressure from that, because if it's going to tear down my mental health behind not getting behind this mic, y'all can keep it. Don't keep it. I enjoy y'all. We have a good time. But um I am helping, I'm healing, I'm growing, and I want better for myself, and I want better for as many people as I can influence to live a brighter version of themselves. I don't want you to be anything other than the best you. And if you're doing things that you know are contradictory to being the best you that you can be, and you have the power to stop it or change it, especially if it's something small, it might be uncomfortable, but you know it's worth it. You know it's worth it. You know it's worth it. And if you do it long enough, if you do it effective enough, it becomes part of the bigger, better, more evolved version of you. And that's when it really feels good. So I'm going to go ahead. Mom said you've been motivated to start hanging up your clothes from the show to the good. Hey, take care of yourself. Ah. And then you say, I feel good behind the mic so quick. I do feel good behind the mic. Look, quit playing with me. You put me behind anybody's mic. You to talk, to sing, to do a poem, a presentation, a prose, or a monologue. Like, this is where I be trying to be humble, but I have some I main character energy is up front is where I belong. Um, so long as I got my team of loved ones in front, behind, around, beside me to support me through whatever it is I'm supposed to do, I'll stay behind the mic. I'll stay up front. All right. Where's my bag? I think I left my purse in the other room. But anyways, let's go and take it out in prayer and be about it. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day. I thank you for this opportunity to speak my truth and reveal myself in hopes that it will help challenge, change, motivate the next person to do better for their own selves. I ask that you be with me and be with everyone on this recording, be it live or if they watch it later. You just be with us to help guide us through the things that will help us be better and help us be closer to you. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Thank God. And amen. Okay. So I was looking for my bag that I think I left. And no, I put over there and I'm not gonna get it. I was looking for my bag because look, y'all, after like 2 years, it's almost 2 years. That don't make no sense. I finally finished my affirmations. I finally finished my affirmation cards. Like, I have really nice ones. They're really nice. I had printed. They're really nice. And so I was gonna pull an affirmation for you guys. Charmone, my cousin, said she's right. Say behind the mic and speak the truth. Yeah. So I was gonna pull an affirmation at the end of the show and share it with y'all and show y'all my cards, but maybe I'll do it next time. But either way, if you want to set, the decks are, I think I'm gonna sell them for 11.11. I'm not sure yet, but I'll figure that out. But yes, it is so about time. Look, I tried to do them myself a couple of times over. I tried to solicit other people to do them, and honestly, my issue was is that I was overcomplicating the situation, and I just needed to simplify them and print them out and let them be. Like, some of them messed up during the printing process, and they're flawed, and I just had to be okay with that because 100% of everything don't turn out all right. And I be worried about that sometimes. But again, that is part of me being comfortable with being uncomfortable. So sometimes things work out and sometimes they don't. Um, but I still got more to print out. But the design is done. And the only reason why I didn't print them all out last night is that my printer and my computer, they decided to have a miscommunication and it made me mad. So I went to bed. But I did get a good ways through and I'm almost done printing all of them, but I got a bunch of them done. I'm really excited about it. And so y'all can have them if you buy them. But anyways, um yeah, we're at the end of the show. If you want to give a little bit of financial appreciation for the work that I'm doing here today, Mom already put my cash app in the comments. Hashtag MoeSghetti. Buy me a coffee, buy me a car, whatever is in your wallet and whatever is on your heart. That's just compensation for my time and my effort and my energy today because this be we coming to y'all every week. Plus, the studio time don't pay for itself. Anywho, and it's almost Christmas. So, with that being said, I appreciate y'all spending a moment with me today. It's been an extra long episode, but I guess I had some extra things to get through. And we gonna look, this is probably gonna be one of many Dear Diary episodes. I feel like I've already done like a Dear Diary episode. These Dear Diary episodes are kind of exhausting because they require me to sit here and be vulnerable and open and tell y'all all of my business. And that is uncomfortable and that is exhausting, but it is also simultaneously liberating for me. And I hope that it is liberating, encouraging for you. So, with that being said, I'm going to sign out. Thank you for spending a moment with me. I'll see you next time. Tone, take